everybody, this is Charles here with another video. So it's that time again for a haul video. So I did buy a couple things, whether it's retail or online, and I did pick up a couple of things from the last couple of weeks, even up to this week. And I really wanted to film this haul video. It's just that I never got the chance to because I've been busy, I've been burnt out. There's a lot of things going on, and I just never got the chance until now. So hopefully the wait will be worth it, and I have a lot of items to share with you. And it's like what I said before, I bought these items from places like GameStop or Target or eBay. So hopefully you'll enjoy as much as I do. So let's start off small. Got myself a Lego Superman minifigure. It's unfortunate that Lego, they're not doing a lot of DC sets recently. So this Superman is nice. It is the Man of Steel as a minifigure. Here is Transformers Legacy Galvatron. So, for those unfamiliar, Galvatron is basically an upgraded, rebuilt Megatron. And he was reformatted and rebuilt by Unicron, who's basically the Transformers equivalent of Satan. I really like the look of Galvatron. Really dig the purple color scheme, and his cannon mode is pretty cool. I don't collect Transformers as much as I used to anymore, but I'm glad to have this figure in my collection at least. Next up, I bought two figures of the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat figures. The mascots themselves, Scorpion and Sub-Zero. These are possibly the best Mortal Kombat action figures to date, from the articulation, the accessory count, the posability. And I wanted the Mortal Kombat 3 designs because that's my favorite design for the ninjas. Scorpion is a must-have for any Mortal Kombat fan. He is the mascot and the face of the franchise. Sub-Zero, he's my personal favorite and my go-to character whenever I play the games, especially Mortal Kombat 11. Next up is the HeroClix Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mouser Mayhem. I did mention in my past videos, I used to play a tabletop game called HeroClix. I don't really play the game anymore, but the miniatures make really nice collectibles, and I love me the Ninja Turtles. Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael. And with NECA doing the last Ronin figures, I really do hope in the future that they do the main IDW universe figures, because the last Ronin is an alternate universe story. Hopefully, and I really do mean hopefully, they do the main IDW universe Ninja Turtles, because they always focus on things like the 80s cartoon and the 90s live action films, which I get because they're the most nostalgic and nostalgia sells. But until then, these will make nice display pieces. Marvel Legends Velocity Suit Spider-Man, and this is my favorite Spider-Man suit in the game. It's a really unique design, and it's an original design made for the game that didn't appear in the comic book. Well, not yet at least. You'll never know. And it's so cool. I got to meet Yuri Lowenthal when I went to SAC Anime. He's a very cool guy, and it's cool that he's a Spider-Man fan too, so he definitely enjoys the role. Next up is the McFarlane DC Multiverse Green Lantern Kyle Rayner. This is the gold label version. I don't get gold labels. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes they're just lazy cash grabs that could have been an extra accessory included with the main figure. But with this, I can understand since it's a different design. Kyle Rayner, he's arguably my favorite Green Lantern. It's either him or John Stewart. It interchanges, but I love others, obviously, like Hal Jordan. And as you can see, he does have a katana construct and samurai armor, because if you know the character, he loves anime and manga, so He's an anime fan, or an otaku, I guess you could say. And Carl Rayner, he's a really cool and underrated Green Lantern because when most people think of Green Lanterns, they think of guys like Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart, or most recently Simon Baz and Jessica Jones. Maybe Carl Rayner will get his time to shine outside the comic books. Now, for the rest of the figures, it's mostly Star Wars, and I got so much for Star Wars. So, for Star Wars fans, I hope you like these figures. But to start things off, this is the only one I bought loose off eBay. Everything else is brand new. This is Star Wars The Clone Wars Droid Commando. And when I first saw these battle droids in the Clone Wars animated series, I thought they were so cool. They were such a versatile battle droid variant, from things like close range, they have ranged weapons from their blast rifles, they can snipe, they have tough armor, and they have such a cool design. Maybe, hopefully, Hasbro will re-release these figures or make a brand new mold of the Droid Commandos. But as of now, I'm happy with this. But with the new Star Wars game, Jedi Survivor, they do have new droid figures in the vintage collection, so maybe there's chance for Droid Commandos to return. This is my most recent Star Wars pickup. I bought it at GameStop. This is Emperor Palpatine. And I've got to say, excuse me, this is the most accurate Emperor Palpatine figure in 3.75 inch scale I've seen so far. The facial sculpt, the robes, and it comes with alternate hands with the lightning effect. So this would make great display, especially at the end of Return of the Jedi when he was electrocuting Luke. Next up is the Vintage Collection Bo-Katan. I do love me the Mandalorians, and I just love Mandalorian characters. Bo-Katan is playing an important role in the Mandalorian TV show, and I can't wait to see how Season 3 unfolds. And my friend Tony was able to help me get this figure. Thank you again, Tony. I really appreciate it. Next up is Star Wars The Vintage Collection Captain Fordo from Star Wars Clone Wars. Not to be confused with the 2008 series. This is from the original 2003 animated series by Gendy Tartakovsky. And Captain Fordo during the time was my favorite clone character because if you've seen the 2003 series, he and the Unilist 10, which is a clone team he led, are incredibly badass. Like, they could fight droids with at ease. Sadly, he's considered a Legends character, but who knows, they brought in so many Legends characters into the main canon, so fingers crossed for Captain Fordo. Next up is Vintage Collection Shae Vizsla from the Star Wars The Old Republic video game. Now, this is a re-release of the original figure somewhere around 2010, 11, 12, any of those years. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And the original figure had a less than pleasant looking head sculpt. I did not have that figure, but I am so glad I got the re-release version with the new head sculpt because it is so much better, a major improvement, definitely much better, and the head sculpt is absolutely beautiful. And the flame effects and the pistols, really cool accessories, and like I said with Bo-Katan, I love Mandalorians. this came in the mail from GameStop. This is Star Wars The Vintage Collection Mace Windu. And as far as I'm concerned, this is the best, the definitive Mace Windu in 3.75 inch scale as far as I'm concerned. Because I've seen other figures of Mace Windu, they don't quite nail it, but this, as far as I'm concerned, nails it. Especially with the head sculpt. It really does look like Samuel Jackson as an action figure. So that's it for 3.75 inch figures. Here's the Black Series 6 inch figures. First up is Star Wars The Black Series Archive Commander Cody. I was toy hunting with my friend Tony, and he showed me this figure saying, "Hey Charles, look, there's Commander Cody." I had to buy him. Thank you again, Tony. I really appreciate your help. It's kind of a shame because they had a chance to re-release this figure with improvements like a removable helmet or at the very least an alternate head. Missed opportunity, but well, I'm going to display the figure with the helmet on anyway, so there's that. Next up is Star Wars The Black Series Princess Leia. She's had so many different costumes and designs throughout the films and outside media, but this is one I associate her most with. Last, and definitely not the least, is Star Wars The Black Series Deluxe Boba Fett, the Throne Room version, his appearance based on the Book of Boba Fett TV show. Man, as soon as I saw this figure, I wanted him, I had to get him, and I'm finally glad to have him. And this is my favorite design of Boba Fett so far, with the black undersuit and the cleaned up armor. And people either like or hate the Book of Boba Fett. Personally, I loved it, especially towards the end. So this has been my haul for all of my figures. I hope you like them all. This is one of the biggest hauls I've had yet, and I can't complain. So this has been it for my video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next.